Please subscribe.
Although Ferrari might not acknowledge even having rivals, let alone any of those firms' work, it's easy to imagine that McLaren's rapid model development program is causing alarm in Renault. It's been only 6 years since McLaren Automotive launched its first product, the MP412C. That car got what was essentially a heavy facelift, and a far less clunky name, just 3 years later, when it became the 650S. Now its successor, the new 720S, has been unveiled at the Geneva Auto Show with a more advanced carbon fiber composite tub and a turned-up, 710 horsepower twin-turbocharged V8 mounted behind the passenger compartment. McLaren has stuck with commendable adhesion to the plan with which it launched its road car division early this decade, using the same core architecture to create a family of models, graded sports, super, and ultimate series. The 720S Coupe debuts the second-generation Super Series cars and will be followed by both a Spider and an even quicker LT version. In the cage. This is the first car to use McLaren's new Monocage 2 carbon fiber tub, which brings several significant developments. Whereas the 650S used a metal windshield surround bonded to the front of the carbon fiber structure, the 720S has integral carbon A-pillars and a carbon windshield header. The new tub also includes a central roof spar that has mounting points for the new, wider opening doors. The 650S featured pillar hinges, a B-pillar hoop, and buttresses. McLaren claims that the full structure weighs 39 pounds less than the original monocell and its related metal parts, with the 720S's overall weight falling to a claimed 2,829 pounds in the car's lightest configuration. The other side of the power-to-weight ratio is equally compelling. While the headline horsepower figure isn't quite as impressive as the 720S's name suggests, referring to the fractionally weightier metric Furnace torque measurement, that 720 PS total still translates to an entirely respectable 710 horsepower, accompanied by a peak 568 pounds-to-foot of torque. A revamped version of the twin-turbocharged V8 that has sat at the heart of every modern McLaren sees its displacement increased from 3.8 to 4.0 liters, and it boasts new turbos, cylinder heads, and pistons, plus a new crankshaft. The company claims, with very McLaren-like exactitude, that the M840T engine is 41% new. Transmission duties continue to be handled by a 7-speed dual-clutch automatic transmission with all torque directed to the rear wheels. Acceleration numbers get more impressive as velocities rise. At the lower end, the 720S doesn't look much quicker than the 650S, which was rarely accused of being a slouch. McLaren claims a 2.8 second 0 to 60 mph time for the 720S, just a tenth quicker than the 650S. But as speed builds, so does the improvement, with the 720S's claim of 7.8 seconds to 124 mph being 0.6 seconds faster and the somewhat ridiculous 21.4 seconds 0 to 186 mph time a full 4.0 seconds quicker. The claimed top speed is 212 mph. Other parts of the mechanical package have been evolved rather than redesigned. The 720S gets new control arms and wheel knuckles but sticks with the hydropneumatic suspension that fights body roll with hydraulic craftiness. Spring rates have been increased by 10% in the front and 20% in the rear, with harshness avoided by a smarter proactive chassis control 2 system that uses a total of 21 sensors to tune ride and handling according to conditions and to the chosen driving mode. These include comfort, sport, and track, but there's also a new drift function for the stability control system that promises to turn even modestly talented pilots into full opposite-lock driving deities. Air management. The new design is positively radical, with the 720S looking very different from the 650S, and indeed from pretty much any other recent supercar. The big difference is in what's missing, with the 720S lacking air intakes behind the doors, a feature that has come to define the aesthetics of the mid-engine sports car. In this case, Form followed function. As soon as we set the aerodynamic targets for this car, we realized we couldn't use an intake there, says Hayden Baker, the 720S vehicle line director. That was the challenge from day one. The solution is a particularly elegant one, as crafted by a team led by McLaren's chief designer Rob Melville. Design director Frank Stevenson apparently now devotes more time to far future projects. Air is channeled to the engine and to the heat exchangers at the back of the car through a barely visible gap between the body side and the rear side glass, with other drag-cheating aerodynamic features including door-mounted blades to channel air as it leaves the front splitter. Look closely and you'll even see small intakes for the front-mounted coolers integrated under the headlights. At the back is a full-width air brake that serves as a spoiler and a wing depending on its angle of attack. McLaren claims the 720S delivers 50% more downforce than the 650S but with less drag and a 15% improvement in cooling efficiency. Front-end styling shows a familial relationship with the cheaper sports series, but at the rear the 720S bears a more than passing resemblance to the P1 hypercar, most definitely a good thing. Although the lack of a side intake serves to make the 720S look longer than its predecessor, this is mostly an illusion. At 178.9 inches in length, it's up just 1.3 inches on the 650S, while the 105.1-inch wheelbase of the two cars is identical. Inner space. The cabin is much more spacious than that of the 650S, thanks in large part to how much easier it is to get in and out of. The top hinged doors now open wider, and the 720S gets the thinner sills McLaren debuted in the sports series. Once inside, visibility is dramatically improved thanks to the narrower A-pillars. Design details include a Tesla-like portrait-oriented central touchscreen and a TFT instrument cluster that, in addition to changing displays in different modes, also motors itself away when the car is put into track mode, leaving a narrower screen that displays only speed, current gear, and a minimalist tachometer. There's no official pricing yet, but the word from inside McLaren is that we can expect the 720S coupe to cost around $285,000 in base form. As with other McLarens, add-ons will include various carbon packages and even the chance to have the McLaren Special Operations Division create bespoke or one-off parts. We're told that the open-topped Spider version will follow by 2019, which almost certainly will constitute the majority of sales. More than 80% of US 650S sales were the open-topped version. It's ideal for feeling the wind in your hair or, if you're Ferrari, the breath on your neck.